As we put a week of training camp in the books, we got to talk about winners, losers, whose stock is up, whose stock is down, and what America's favorite slop-generating, alleged legacy media generator, Sports Illustrated, has to say about the birds. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Seahawks Digest, the show where my OBS board is in that direction. So I look this way. I hear you guys. Since relocating the camera, I need to make some adjustments here, but I appreciate that you guys are sticking with us. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe, share, all those things, would love to hear from you. Let me dial up the OBS big board and see what we got today. As I said, winners and losers, courtesy of Sports Illustrated, what was once a place that if I started a video saying we're going to talk about what Sports Illustrated had to write about the Seahawks, you'd all lean forward and be like, yes, interesting, but largely has now become AI slop headline generators. But nonetheless, it's interesting to take some of this and, analyze, if you will. First winner, Tyrice Knight. I think everybody's a winner right now, generally, just because football is back. But sure, let's talk in the specifics of this. This one has to do with quotes that we can draw up here from Coach Macdonald, that he's having a really great camp. There are ways to get him out there. He is definitely applying pressure right now, which is great. That was from Coach Macdonald talking about the week that Knight has had during camp. He's playing behind Ernest Jones and Drake Thomas currently, but when he says that he's applying pressure, from all my understanding and reasoning, that is sort of a two-front thing to say. Both he's applying pressure in the literal sense as a rusher, and he's applying pressure to the guys ahead of him in the job hunt. One thing that to me has been a consistent about Coach Macdonald's defensive assignments, substitutions, repositioning. He's got the schematic Swiss Army knife brain that seems to be, I'm not going to say uniquely capable of, because I have not watched enough film on every single D coordinator in the entire history of the NFL to be like, oh, ours is the only guy that can do it, but it certainly is a skill that does not seem like every single person has it, and that is just the ability to be like, okay, I see the vision where this guy gets his best. And if we put him in that position, maybe it's having to retool some stuff and step out of my personal comfort zone, but we can succeed. And that's what Coach has done with a lot of different guys. And so I would say that Knight's probably going to be somebody that, even if he doesn't win the starting job, winds up in a position to be significantly impactful this season. The next person that they list, or the loser, if you will, is secondary depth. And this all revolves around Nick Emanwuri starting the season on the PUP list. And I came out in the initial of that being announced and said, what are we going to do? He's obviously not fully healthy yet from the ankle injury that plagued him at the end of last season. And to get himself from where he is to where he needs to be, you don't get a lot of clarity on that from the PUP list, because that could be something where it is true that like coaches said, hey, we're just giving him some rest and letting him take training camp off. We know he's a solid pro. And that could also be, this guy's not even close to playing football right now, so he really does need to just be, the rest, ice, compress, elevate, or whatever it is that is the advanced modern version of my archaic understanding of how to heal muscles and bones and stuff. But you'll get what I'm saying. I kind of don't know what to say. Secondary depth is not a loser if this is a short-term injury recovery, because this is going to give some rookies some chances and younger guys chances to step in, and with the knowledge that daddy's coming home in a couple of weeks, be able to play, I think, still pretty unleashed football. But I get where this is something that you got to be paying attention to, at least in the background. They list Anthony Bradford, as we continue down this list, as a winner. Interesting one for me here, because while not that there was this underlying, oh my gosh, he's gonna lose his job, he was certainly listed in several articles and videos that I did as well as somebody who most specifically was at risk if somebody was going to be at risk, or just outright called the weak spot on the offensive line, as this article generally listed here. He's seeming to have a pretty good camp so far. And I think that some of the analysis seems to be coming from like the angle of, oh yeah, he's having a good camp given that the bar was set down here and he's exceeding the bar of this. But in general, I am trying to take this as maximum best case positive scenario. The offense that we have, while it is an unknown under Brian Fleury, what it's going to exactly look like, I think is fair enough to say that it's a good offense with a ton of returning O-line, wide receiver, quarterback pieces. Returning piece in that Sharps is coming back, but exciting, new, young, youthful upgrades at the running back job. Great tight ends. If the line can hold and we can have time to develop that whole list of skill set positions, who's to stop us? I mean, obviously, like, I'm not saying we're going to go undefeated just because Anthony Bradford had himself a good camp, but the trickle down of a offensive lineman who was viewed as the weak spot, being an absolute dog out there in the trenches the very first week of camp, is a fantastically awesome thing. On the trickle, talk about trickle down. On the trickle down of that, they then list Beau Stephens, the rookie that we just drafted out of Iowa this year, as a loser because of the implications. To quote Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, it's because of the implications that he is most likely not going to be taking Bradford's job, given how well Bradford has done in camp. There has also, though, I would like to not pushback, but there's been stories and reports coming out that Beau Stephens is just a character and is being the hype man, if you will, of the rookie class, and is a guy who is bringing a lot of energy and enthusiasm into the building. And I'm not going to say that there's a right or a wrong person to be a rookie who sits for a year, but it does seem that this guy, number one, is physically capable of doing the job and has just not cracked the starting lineup because he's a rookie and all of the incumbents are balling out. He's got the skills to go in. And if we can have him sit for a year as the backup, that's great. But also if we can have a guy who has the level of enthusiasm and perspective that Beau Stephens apparently does as a rookie, come in and learn and grow and just, develop without having to be physically, putting some tread on the tires and performing at his peak all time. Like, being 23 and having a chance to just learn the NFL, not necessarily a bad thing, especially for the long-term implications of having a really good offensive lineman. So are all of these winners instead of winners and losers? No. But is this overwhelmingly been a good week for the Seahawks? Absolutely, yes. That's what I've got for you on this episode. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Like I said, I would do better speaking into the mic, and hopefully by the next time we see each other, I will have this all rearranged. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.